Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss here with MT. We are talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale.
Yes.
We have so many questions coming out of this episode. We're going to take them live from our listeners on stereo and do our best to try to clear up any confusion you might have or frame this episode on how we should look ahead to future MCU chapters. Any kind of lingering questions you have. Well, first, MT, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm so glad that we finally got this final episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we finally got to see Sam Wilson as Captain America, and it was just as beautiful as I thought it would be, and even more, because he's a majestic bird flying in the night sky. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful thing. Let's take some questions from our listeners. Here we go.
Well, Walmart Cap finally got his comeuppance. What do you think he's going from here? Where do you think he goes?
Walmart Cap.
Cap.
That's such a funny way to describe him. He is now U.S. agent John Walker. This is kind of where we thought he would end up. You know, he has this like darker shade of a suit. In the comics, that's what John Walker's future is. He, after going through a bout of becoming Captain America and then going too far with it and being stripped of that title, he ends up getting this new title of U.S. agent, and he kind of becomes an assassin, just figure who is almost not a kill for hire, because he's usually working with different groups, whether it's the Dark Avengers. But now it seems like he is now going to be tied in with whatever Val's organization is. I still think it's going to be some kind of Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers initiative.
Yeah.
That's going to be tied in with Thunderbolt Ross, with Zemo on the raft. And that gradually we're going to see a new team of assassins that's put together to kill on behalf of whatever shadowy government organization that Val is heading up. What do you think, MT?
I think we could be seeing this, the beginnings of a Thunderbolt situation, but sort of in a reverse Avengers sort of way. Because the Avengers had Steve Rogers as their Captain America, so maybe John Walker is this new Thunderbolts Captain America as figure that Val is trying to set up. They're probably going to have U.S. Agent run a couple of missions and then just be like, all right, he can't do this on his own. He needs a team. Let's just, make this as the new face of, Avengering the Thunderbolts to do those hard missions that no one really wants to do in our own way. Walmart Cap has a vast array of possibilities in front of him. So, we'll see what Val's going to do with him, but I'm sure it's going to be something real shady and involve some killing.
Yeah.
Because he's real good at that.
Yes. Yes, he is. Let's take another question here.
Do you think that the final scenes in this episode of Captain America and the Winter Soldier will be setting up a season 2 or more movies in the future?
I think right now they've left the door open to either option. I think directly these final scenes were setting up different futures for these characters separately or on different adventures in a show that won't be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I think this was kind of getting us, as we saw with WandaVision, from A to B. Loki, it sounds like, was renewed for a second season, which is interesting. But both these first two shows, I think, were conceived to be miniseries that get characters from one step in their character journey to the next, as opposed to introducing a world that we're going to live in a second season and develop that world. But that said, I could totally see this world continuing to grow just as the way it is, seeing what's next for Sharon Carter as a power broker, or Val with this, seems like Thunderbolts initiative, and John Walker. I'd be interested in seeing a second season of this show in particular. I like Sam and Bucky's friendship. I don't want them to separate, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a season 2 of eventually down the line, because this show lends itself well to having multiple seasons versus, WandaVision, that is more of just a one and done type story. But yeah, I definitely don't think that the post credits are setting up a season 2. But like Eric said, it's just all right, this is just this point in the MCU, and then these characters that we've introduced will be will play different roles in upcoming films or MCU TV projects. But then as the MCU phase continues along, if there is a need for a season 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier that helps move along the phase, then they will announce it. But as of right now, it's not. Obviously there's no announcement, but it's not really an imperative for a season 2 to happen. You got to think of these seasons like sort of like sequels to like a movie, like Captain America, and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2 is more like Captain America and the Winter Soldier 2. It's like this is the sequel.
Yeah.
So like you gotta start thinking of these seasons like movies, in a way, because they are. They're just longer movies but told in episodic form. But that's just me.
Hey, I might be good at finding Easter eggs, but I'm no wizard at actually cooking eggs. I mean, look, I can warm eggs up. It's just like, to do an egg correctly, you gotta kind of know what you're doing. So I need all the help in the kitchen I can get, and a great nonstick pan is some of the best help a chef can have. And the folks at Maizen make a great nonstick pan. I just love that they don't even pretend that the coating will last forever, because no nonstick pan lasts forever, and anybody that's ever owned one knows that. Instead, they make a great pan that lasts 2.5 times longer than its competitors and at half the price. They use 3-layer DuPont Platinum coating. Oh yeah, supposedly they tested it with super glue and the super glue slipped right off. Now, I have cooked some food that tastes like super glue, so that might actually come in handy. It is induction, gas, and electric stovetop compatible and oven safe up to 450 degrees, so this can be your all-purpose pan in the kitchen. Go to the link in the description and use the promo code NEWROCKSTARS for 20% off your first order. Again, go to the link in the description and use the promo code NEWROCKSTARS for 20% off your first order.
Let's take another question.
Hi guys. Yeah, first of all, I just really like your shows. They're really helpful, especially the breakdowns. So my question is pretty much, what does the end credits mean? Like, who did Sharon Carter call, and what does she mean? Yeah, I'd really like to know. I think it's open to suggestions.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is meant to be a bit mysterious. It seems like Sharon Carter is truly intended by the show to be the power broker. I don't believe any of these things to where it's like, no, that's a lie, because ultimately, think of it this way. If she is lying about being the power broker, or if you take her lack of verbally saying that she is as evidence that she is not, you really think the MCU is going to drag out that mystery over the next couple years until we see her again, maybe in Armor Wars or Secret Invasion? No. By the, next we have Black Widow, we have Shang-Chi, we have the Eternals, we have Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, we have Thor Love and Thunder, we have all these other big things that we're going to be excited about talking about. They're not going to be like, also, remember how we never got exact clarity on whether Sharon was the power broker or not? No, she's just going to be the power broker next time we see her.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have to make mountains out of molehills now. We now got the answers that the show's going to give us.
Yeah, they were pretty clear. It's like, this is the power broker. This is the last thing. If this is the last thing that we see of the show, of Sharon being like, implied as the power broker, she's 100% the power broker. Like, I don't think Kevin Feige really would just be like, just kidding. Because again, they already sort of did the same thing with the Mandarin. Like, you can't, you can only get one of those. You only get one, just kidding. It's actually this. So, I feel like she's definitely the power broker there.
Yeah, and even when you do one of those, people get pissed when you do that, that's, I think they learned their lesson there. Like, you can't keep misdirecting people that way. But with, who is she calling? I think she was talking to one of her lieutenants or one of her criminal contacts. She has that relationship with the driver who picked her up in episode 3, or someone else in her network, because she has all those armed guards. Whoever her right hand man is, she could have a connection with the Ten Rings, with Justin Hammer's organization. I don't think she was calling Zola, though. I have to say, I'm sad, but I never really expected to get a Zola thing. That was always my reach. You know what I think we need to do, MT, now going forward? We should do our best to clarify to people when our theories are our reach theories, and then our theories of when we think will actually happen, and even falling short of that, our lowest expectation of what the show will give us. So a 3-tiered theory framework of look, I never thought I was going to get into Princeton, right? That was my reach theory. It was Eric will go to Princeton. And then I had my safety school. And then I had, there's always the local college that's down the street from me. I can do it. And so far, the MCU has given us community college.
No, at the beginning of the series, before the show even started, I was convinced that Zola was involved. I was convinced that Zola was involved in WandaVision personally. But we didn't see Zola here. I definitely do think that Zola is coming back personally, to some degree. Though it could be in a Captain America solo film or something, but One of these
Solo
days,
film?
a Solo, a Star Wars story. He's in there.
Let's take another question here.
Also, what do you think when Val said it's gonna get weird? I'm thinking Secret Invasion setup.
Chris, I'm thinking you have a hell of a voice, my friend. You
does.
should be a radio announcer
dig
or a
it.
podcaster.
I dig it.
You have such a good voice. I think you're right. I think she's just kind of saying things are going to get weird, whether it's Secret Invasion, whether there are mutants involved, I think she means weird in that it's not going to be as simple as these are the Avengers and this is our clear hero lineup. I think she's saying there's going to be a lot of new heroes who join the scene who are filling that power void. And now she's saying in that world where the battle lines are not clearly drawn between good and evil, we're going to need someone like U.S. Agent who doesn't necessarily hold up the stars and stripes, but can still get the job done. So I think that's the idea of it. I don't necessarily know why in a world where there are Skrulls, we need U.S. Agent. Like, I feel like in a world where there are Skrulls, in that kind of world, you need clarity and trustworthiness more than anything, because that's the hard part about Secret Invasion is you don't know who you can trust. So maybe she was taking a cynical interpretation of that. In a world where you don't know who you can trust, that your next door neighbor, your best friend might be an alien shapeshifter, that's where someone like John Walker, U.S. Agent, can succeed and excel, because no one trusts him anyway, but the job still needs to get done.
Yeah.
What do you think, MT?
I think that I really do like those points. I tend to more see, like, I definitely think that there's going to be a Thunderbolt situation set up with John Walker, for sure, with Val. But like, I do think that Val could want John Walker because she knows that he's crazy and she knows that, like, you know, his current path. So like, I think that she is like, all right, this guy's a human. So like, I've seen some Secret Invasion shit that I don't really like. I've seen some Skrulls, and like, I want to get rid of them. So maybe one of the functions of the Thunderbolts is to weed out Skrulls and you know, just get rid of them and kill them, because like, we don't really want aliens in our country, you know, quote unquote. But like, right. This does seem like that weird comment really got me thinking about Secret Invasion, because you never know who to trust, like you just said, like you don't really know. So it's like, all right, John Walker, he's this guy who fiercely loves his country. He fiercely loves, he loved being Captain America for a time. And so it's just like, all right, I can trust this guy because he's crazy. And like, I can control this crazy. He's crazy and he's powerful. Yeah. So I do think that there could be setting up a Secret Invasion type scenario, but who knows, really? It could be anything.
Yeah, it's Secret Invasion and all of the above of like multiversal collisions, right? Because she seems to know that shield doesn't belong to the U.S. government, and I've speculated that could be because she knows it comes from Old Cap from an alternate timeline. So if Val knows about alternate timelines, yeah, she knows how weird things are about to get. Yeah.
Do you think Steve is on the moon? They referenced the moon again.
Yeah, I love that conspiracy theory came back. Hey, they brought it up twice. Multiple people think this. I think the show intended that to be a joke, like that people believe that. And it's a joke. It was one of my more favorite dismissal jokes. Like, he's just on the moon. People think he's on the moon. For now, I'm going to say yes. I believe he is on the moon. I believe that there's some space base on the moon, either through what Nick Fury is doing with the Skrulls on that space station. I don't think it will be the Inhumans, though. But yeah, I think we're looking at a moon base kind of thing.
I think that it would be fun for Cap to be on the moon, and as of this point, it's our most highly likely plausible. Like, I don't know, it just seems likely because they brought it up again, that he could be on the moon, but he could be anywhere. Like, he could be undercover. He could be on that space station with Nick Fury. You know, it's just, gosh. You know what? I'm gonna say he's on the moon too, because why not? It's just fun. It's a nice little retirement place.
They say otherwise, why not?
Right? Like, I've been to a different, timeline. I've been to this timeline. I'm just gonna go on the moon. It's a different change of scenery. Why not? It's fun.
Yep. Let's take another question.
Hi, just wanted to ask what you guys would change about the Falcon, or I should say Captain America costume, if you could, if anything.
I wouldn't change really anything about it. I mean, I kind of liked it. I thought it looked good. I'll say it's a little bright.
Yeah, it's definitely no stealth suit. It's definitely very bright. But I think it looks super dope. It's so comics accurate that it's crazy, which is very different for Sam Wilson, because his Falcon costume looks completely different from the comics, which is for the better. Let's get that out there, because it looks kind of ridiculous in the comics. Let's be real, because of the time it was made. But yeah, this is very comics accurate. I don't think I would change anything really. Maybe the goggles. But the goggles are 100% fine for me.
But that is it for this Falcon Winter Soldier finale Q&A. We want to thank all of our listeners on Stereo for giving us these great questions. We're going to be back this coming Friday to answer more questions, other loose ends, other kind of remaining questions you might have had about this series, and the way it's going to set up the MCU going forward. Because, yeah, there's a lot of confusion, and we want to try to clear it up as much as we can, but we just want to give ourselves some time to digest all of it. As always, thanks to MT for joining me on this. Follow him at Mastertainment on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me at EA Voss on Instagram and Twitter. Be sure to subscribe to New Rockstars here on YouTube for breakdowns of everything Marvel. And as always, support us by checking out one of our many great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com, whether it be this Anarchy assembled shirt or our amazing Zemo inspired design, both of which are running low on supply, so you gotta move fast. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.